shocking. I built my parents a smart home that caught my brother's $2 million heist. Picture this: small town house where the porch light buzzes and my parents double pay bills. I'm the broke coder son who builds them a smart system to keep them safe and maybe finally stop being the family screw-up. My golden child brother and his wife show up with smiles and a binder to grab a $2 million estate by forging the deed. But my hidden audit logs, audio triggers, and metadata traps catch their plan. The evidence flips everything. They're exposed. We reset power. Buckle up. Let me tell you how I caught my own brother on my parents' kitchen mic saying, "We forged the deed first." And yeah, it's as bad as it sounds. You won't believe how a cheap DIY smart home built from leftover parts nailed proof on a $2 million play. I'll show you the exact traps I set. Printer logs, invisible watermarks, device IDs, the whole thing. So you see how it worked. But here's the darkness. This isn't just tech. This is my mom crying at the table. This is me becoming the snitch to save the two people who still call me when a remote won't work. So the big question is simple. Can I use this data without nuking my family for good? Trust me, the kettle whistles, the clock ticks, and the house itself gives me the win. Let's rewind to where the lie started, the lie we all lived. So, small town, right? Everybody knows your last name and who fixed whose roof in '98. In our story, my brother Nate is the golden one. Varsity, everything. Tidy shirts, owns a business his wife mostly runs. My label? Broke app guy. I ship bug fixes at 2 a.m., 11 sweatshirts, show up with coupons and cables. That's the family joke. I laugh along because, whatever, I still show up. My parents are sweet and stubborn. Dad thinks every phone call is the bank. Mom keeps mail in a cookie tin and swears she paid that bill already. Lately, I'm finding late fees, weird mortgage offers, and congratulations postcards that aren't about winning anything except debt. They won't say they're scared, but you can feel it. The house that raised us is paid off, worth real money now. So it's a target, and fear makes people sign dumb stuff. I don't have cash for a fancy system, so I bring parts. A custom hub I built, a couple mic arrays, some cams that look like light bulbs, NFC tags on the doors, and a simple brain to stitch it all together. Nothing wild, but under the hood, audit logs that timestamp everything, tamper flags that scream if a setting moves, and off-site backups that don't care if someone yanks a plug. That's my gift. Cheap, boring, and impossible to argue with. Before I plug in anything, we talk. At the table. No tech words. I say, here's the deal. It records. It saves. It's for your safety. If you don't want that, I won't install it. We set a safe word, apricot, if they ever feel watched and want me to kill it. We decide how long video stays, how audio triggers work. Then I slide over a one-page house policy, our smart home to toss, plain English. Security and maintenance recording, device logs retained, accessed by me as admin. They read it, ask if it's normal. I say, pretty normal, just honest. They sign. I add a guest notice on the Wi-Fi splash, monitored network. By joining, you consent to device and traffic logging. Not sneaky, posted. Anyone entering this house is a guest. Lower privacy expectation. That little policy is a seatbelt I hope we never need. And for a minute, it helps. The porch cam catches the Amazon guy. The stove timer pings my phone when Dad forgets it. And Mom loves that the living room lights turn on when she walks in. I stop worrying every time my phone buzzes. Then Nate moves in for a bit, and his wife Tiffany brings a leather binder stamped estate planner. Big gold letters. Like a trophy. They say it's just being responsible. Probate is a nightmare, Nate tells Mom, leaning on the word like he invented it. Tiffany smiles with those calm therapist eyes and says things like liquidity events and titling concerns. Dad nods because nobody wants to look dumb. And let's be real, Nate's voice still carries the house. Me? I ask who put the plan together. Tiffany says a contact, won't give a name. Red flag. But I keep my mouth shut because pushing now turns me into the jealous brother. And once you're that guy, nobody hears you. That night, the system pings me at midnight. Tiny glitch in the printer scanner job queue. Not a paper jam, more like a ghost print from an unknown device. I remote in, and the log looks off. New MAC address, no pairing history, Job title with the kind of name you only use at 2 a.m. when you think you're almost done. I think, okay, maybe Tiffany is scanning something normal, but the title pattern worms into my head. There's a difference between deed copy and deed final V2. One sounds like notes, the other sounds like a finish line. I go over the next morning under the router check routine, fix a bulb, laugh with Dad about his team losing, and give Mom a hug that lingers. She leans in and whispers, "Don't say anything, but Tiffany found a notary who can come today so we won't have to leave the house." My stomach just drops. Mobile notary can be legit, sure. Or it can be, sign now, ask questions later. I tell Mom, no rush, okay? We can always reschedule. She nods, then says, "I just want it done." Your brother says this is how smart families do it. And right there, I feel the old script grab my throat. Nate knows best. I'm the tech helper. I walk to the kitchen for water, smile like an idiot, and quietly add a room mic behind the spice rack, because if this turns into pressure, I need context. And because we had the talk, the 2S, the safe word, I'm not crossing their line. I'm keeping the one we drew. Back at my place, I look closer at last night's printer log. The job came from a device with no lease history, and the page count is off by 2. Someone printed more than they kept. Drafts? Signature practice? I update the printer driver and bake in a microscopic steganographic watermark on every page. Property of, plus a hash. Invisible to eyes, loud to a forensic lens. If anything leaves this house, it'll shout where it was born. And then I wait. The kettle whistles at my parents' place. The clock ticks. Nate laughs about brunch, and my phone lights up with a new scan job at 2:03 a.m. Different title, same vibe. I don't call, I don't yell. I let the system remember. Because this time, the house is on my side. Building the trap, quiet security layers. So I go quiet. No big hero moves, just small screws turned a quarter each. First thing, the stack. I swap my little hub for a beefier board I built at my place. It looks like a router, but it's got ears. 2 mic arrays in the kitchen and hall, tuned for wake words only. So it's not just recording life, it's waiting for specific phrases. I train a tiny local model to wake on notary, deed, sign, and yeah, forge. Nothing leaves the house unless that trigger trips. When it does, the clip gets sealed, hashed, and pushed to my offsite box. Belt, suspenders, duct tape, cams? I keep them boring. A doorbell, a porch floodlight, and a bulb cam in the dining room that just checks motion. I set the LEDs to blink like they're buffering. Nobody cares about a lazy light. What they don't see is the mirror feed in the attic relay. So if someone pulls one cam, I still have eyes. Then I tag the paper world. I drop NFC stickers under the drawer where Mom keeps important stuff. When that drawer opens, the hub notes it. Time, duration, who was home. I also add a cheap page counter in the printer tray. If a page gets pulled and not printed, I want to know. People practice signatures. Paper tells on you. For forensics, I harden the logs. Every scan or print job gets a checksum. I add a tiny script that records typing cadence on the shared desktop. Just rhythm, not content. It builds a fingerprint. Nate pecks like a woodpecker. Tiffany glides. If a document claims to be from Mom's hand, I want to see whose fingers danced around it. Network side, I split things. Family devices on a strict allow list. Guests on a VLAN that is a polite trap. Same internet, separate street. The guest Wi-Fi splash I added, I tune it up. Monitored network. By joining, you consent to device and traffic logging for security. Big blue button, I agree. They tap. I log fingerprint data. OS, browser, language, fonts. Not creepy, just enough to know who's who when the same unknown pops up later. I set a DNS sinkhole for sketchy domains. If someone tries to hit a PDF crack site or a notary template mill, the request lands in my bucket. I'm not blocking it. I'm watching the ripples. And because I'm not a complete monster, I whitelist Mom's recipes and Dad's baseball scores, so nothing feels off. Paper trail, I go old school and nerd at the same time. I pull certified copies of the original deed, scan them myself, hash those scans, and post the hash string to a little note in my cold wallet. That's a time-stamped receipt nobody can casually fake. Later, if someone waves a new deed, I can say, cool, let's match the math. Social cover is the easiest part. I'm the bulb guy, the router check guy, the can you believe the poor chance guy. I swap a light switch, I bring coffee, I pet the dog, I don't look at the binder. Meanwhile, I'm mapping routines. When Tiffany takes calls, when Nate does his late night work, when mom sits and hums to the clock, I want to know the quiet pockets so I can hear the noise when it shifts. A day later, the guest network coughs up something hot. A device named Tiff Air hits the splash, taps I agree, then tries to fetch a font pack from a PDF editor with a known cracked build signature. My sinkhole logs the request, the version string, the time zone on her box. East Coast. We're West. So either she never fixed her clock, or she typed this on a trip and is bringing it in. Either way, the edit trail smells like her laptop. Because of that, I add one more lure. I drop a folder on the shared desktop named Lawyer Contact readme.txt. Inside is a short note with a tracking pixel that phones home when opened, pulling location data if they're out. It's a Honeytoken. If someone's fishing for a friendly notary, I want to see where the line goes. I also tweak the printer again. The Sego watermark is already there, but now each page carries a per-page ID tied to time, device MAC, and a rolling hash. If they file anything, and I get a copy, I can point to a dot pattern and say, page 2 came off my parents' printer at 2:03 a.m. from an unregistered device. Not a vibe, a fact. At night, I sit on my couch, laptop warm, the house feed in a small window, and I listen to nothing. That's the point. I want them comfortable. If I confront them too soon, they go analog. Pins at a coffee shop, no devices, no trail. If I wait, they'll lean on the convenience. Printer here, scanner here, notary friend on speed dial. People love easy. Easy is evidence. Know how this sounds. Cold, calculated. But this is my parents' roof. $2 million on paper is a magnet for dumb choices and greedy plans. So I build guardrails, soft ones, and I smile while I screw them in. Then, late afternoon, I'm at the table, showing Dad how to cast the game from his phone, and Tiffany walks by with the binder. I catch a tab that reads, Recorder, County. My stomach flips, but I keep my voice light. Hey Tiff, need the printer? She smiles too wide. Maybe later. Later comes fast. My phone pings. Guest Wi-Fi, Tiff Air opened, Lawyer Contact, readme, TXT. Honeytoken lights up with a GPS call from a strip mall across town. Suite B, Payday Notary Mill. The map dot sits. Doesn't move. And now the trap isn't theory. It's working. The first slip. Metadata never lies. Morning hits, and I'm staring at the scan queue like it owes me money. There it is. Last night's 2:03 a.m. special. Job name. Deed. Final. V2. PDF. Come on. That's not even subtle. Source device shows as unknown. But the network lease lines up with Tiff Air hopping on guest Wi-Fi. Time zone still East Coast. We're in Pacific. That's our first fingerprint. Not proof yet, but fingerprints don't wash off easy. So I pull the file from the scanner cache. People forget these things keep copies. I open it cold, no edits, just a peek at the guts. The PDF producer string flashes a version of a popular editor I know well. Trial watermark removed, but the metadata still leaks the build ID of a cracked release. It's like wearing a mask and forgetting your tattoos showing. Then the XIF and XMP tags line up. Author says Tiffany MacBook Pro, and the device field calls itself Tiff Air. Same nickname she used on guest. Time zone, EST. The create date? 20 minutes before the scan. Meaning, it wasn't scanned from paper they got somewhere else. It was born in her laptop, then scanned to make it feel real. I scroll pages. Page 1 has the parcel number. Page 2 has updated tenancy language I've never seen in my parents' stuff. Page 3, wait, the printer log said 5 pages printed. This file is 3. Where are pages 4 and 5? Practice SIGs? Bonus notary sheet? The log shows a mismatch. Printed 5, kept 3. That's not a typo. That's someone curating. I act normal. I text mom a dumb meme of a cat staring at a pancake. Then I remote update the printer one more time. The steganographic watermark's already embedded across every page, but I push the per-page ID tighter. Each sheet gets a dot pattern tied to timestamp, MAC, and a rolling hash. Think micro QR code nobody can see. If any sheet gets filed at the county, I can mirror the pattern and say, Yeah, that came off this exact printer at this exact minute from that exact device. Tiffany can scrub stamps all day. She can't scrub physics. Coffee at their place. I keep it light. Nate's on the phone near the fridge doing his fake CEO voice. Tiffany flips the binder open on the island. I grab a mug and nod like a friendly ghost. She feeds a stack into the scanner. Late morning this time. I watch the panel reflect in the metal toaster and see scanned to PDF hit twice. Little details, right? Behind her, the clock ticks. Our chain of custody soundtrack. Back at my laptop, new scan hits cache. File name now says draft DD Duncore copy 2.pdf. She's cautious enough to put draft, bold enough to keep digging. I check the XMP again. Same author, same time zone. But here's the fun part. The PDF producer changed, an online merge tool blipped in the chain. So now we have creation on her laptop, a detour through a known web tool, and a final scan from my parents' device. That's a 3-step breadcrumb nobody takes for legit filings. Printer log sing 2. Job title, deed, final, v2.pdf. 5 pages at 2:03 a.m. from unknown Mac. Today's draft Esker deed uncopy 2s shows 3 pages from guest. Page counter says 7. Sheets move total. 2 pages don't land in the final. Where'd those go? I picture Tiffany at the table, practicing mom's hand. She's good at mimicking tone. Maybe she thinks hands work the same way. I keep my face chill. Dad walks in and asks if the router still needs to breathe, which is his word for reboot. I grin. All good. Just stretching. Tiffany glances at me, then at the printer, like she felt a breeze. She doesn't say a word. That's fine. My job is to collect, not confess. At noon, Mom whispers about a notary later today again, but different name. Not the house call, a storefront. I shrug and say, cool, bring IDs, right? Tiffany chirps, already handled. Her smile twitches a millimeter. It's small, but that's how tells look in real life. Just a pixel off. Afternoon, I pull the micro watermark test. I print a clean page with my parents' names and a dummy hash, take a macro photo, and check the dot matrix. It resolves. Perfect. I add the hash to my cold wallet note with a timestamp. It's overkill, but overkill is how you win boring battles like this. If a clerk asks me why I'm so sure, I don't say vibes. I point to dots and math. And here's the part that locks the loop. The guest Wi-Fi session from last night shows Tiff Air hitting a PDF editor's font repository with that cracked build signature at 1:41 a.m. This scan at 2:03. That's 22 minutes to finish the doc, clean the watermark, and feed it through the parent's machine to dress it up. The cadence fits. People do crimes on the clock of their own anxiety, but I still need them to push. Metadata is a knife. It cuts best when someone pulls against it. So I keep quiet. I make a joke about the dog stealing socks. I ask Dad if he wants the game saved as a shortcut. Tiffany slices the word probate into the air one more time, steady, like she's training herself to sound official. Nate stays in motion, calls, texts, little puffs of smoke. Then my Honeytoken pings again. Lawyer, contact, readme.txt opens, this time at a different location. GPS says they're parked outside a strip mall on Jefferson Suite B, Payday Notary Mill. Same as before. The map dot sits steady, battery level low. I can see her phone model in the callback. Same OS fingerprint from guest. I don't smile, but inside, something clicks. I've got the author tag. I've got the cracked editor trail. I've got the printer log mismatch and the dot pattern watermark tying pages to this house. I've got the honeypot proving where they're headed. And I've got the kitchen mic ready for one clean line. So now the question isn't, did they try? It's, will they say it out loud? Because if they do, this doesn't just look bad. It sounds like intent. And once intent is on tape, the rest is math. Estate pressure campaign, emotional warfare. So, lunch bleeds into strategy hour. Nate does this thing where he leans on the counter like a coach and drops fear like sprinkles. Probate is a nightmare, he says. Slow, like Mom's hearing is the problem, not his pitch. If you don't retitle, the state picks at the carcass. Taxes, fees, delays, you'll be stuck for months. He taps the binder. Every tap is a countdown. Tiffany slides in with fake calm. This is just modernization, she says. Pen pointed at a tab that says Toad, transfer on death. No drama. We move title now. Avoid the tax hit later. Maintain continuity. You keep living here. No changes. Just protection. She sprinkles in that lawyer-adjacent word soup. Beneficiaries, instruments, vesting. It's not illegal to sound smart. It's just a spell. Mom nods small. I don't want trouble when we're gone, she says, and that hits like a gut punch. Because that's the lever. Fear of being a burden. They pry that open, and everything gets loose. Nate smiles like a pastor. Exactly. We do it now, while you're sharp. Later, God forbid you forget a date and the court says no. This is love. This is responsible. He looks at me like I'm the kid who never filled a form, right? I rinse a plate slow, pretending I'm not clocking cadence. Tiffany's voice has this push-pull rhythm, gentle, then yank. And the deadline matters, she adds. Rates will change next quarter, filing windows close. If we miss this, you're exposed. Deadline out of nowhere. Classic. Dad tries a joke. Do we gotta sell the dog too? He chuckles, but his eyes aren't laughing. He hates offices. He hates paperwork. He'll sign anything to keep the peace. I bite back the monologue. Instead, I grab the router excuse like a lifeline. Hey, I need to check the hallway node. It's dropping packets. Normal, boring. I pop the spice rack, thumb the mic, say the wake phrase under my breath, stove safe, which flips the listener into armed mode. It's set to grab the next 60 seconds clean if it hears notary, sign, deed, or forge. The LED behind the recipe cards gives me a soft blink. Good. Back at the table, I tee up a dumb question. So, what's the plan? A mobile notary here? Or are we going somewhere? I sound curious, not scared. That's important. If they smell fight, they go analog. If they smell ease, they keep using my toys. Tiffany nods at the binder. Here, she says. Safer. Fewer eyes. Fewer eyes. Cool. She taps a sticky note with the last name written too neat. We'll keep it tight. Nate tightens the screws. Look, Mom, remember the DMV mix-up last year? 2 trips? Lost form? This is like that, but bigger. If you don't sign while you're clear, a judge can appoint a stranger to decide. You want that? He tilts his head, voice dropping. It's a threat dressed like a hug. Mom's mouth trembles. I don't want strangers, she whispers. I want my boys. Knife. Twist. She looks at me like I'm the good son and the stray cat at the same time. I swallow the heat. We can slow down, I say. Easy. Bring in your regular lawyer, right? The lady who did the trust update. Tiffany smiles with teeth. She's old school, she says. She doesn't understand new instruments. New instruments, I say, nodding like I buy it. Inside, I'm counting beats, kettle whistles, clock ticks, dog collar jingles, ambient markers locked. Then Tiffany pushes the pace. We'll have the notary stamp here today, she says. Simple. You sign, we file first thing. She flicks a glance at Nate. He gives a tiny nod. They think the window's open. I watch Mom's eyes go soft, confused. She reached for a pen out of habit. Her hand shakes just a little. Tiffany slides a page forward. Initial here to acknowledge receipt, she murmurs. Harmless paper. A warm-up. Get the motion in the wrist so the real thing feels normal. That's my line. I rub my neck, act sheepish. Hey, before anything, tech check. The printer's been dropping jobs at night. I should update the driver so it doesn't kill a scan. I move toward the hallway like I'm chasing Wi-Fi. I'm not. I'm buying 60 seconds. The mic's armed. I need them to say it without me in the scene, or it smells coached. I step into the hall, out of sight, but not out of earshot. The LED blinks once. The kettle squeals. Voices drop. Nate, low. We forge first. File first. County's rubber stamp if we look clean. That line hits like a hammer. The mic wakes. A quiet chime ticks in my head because I wired the cue to my phone with a half-second buzz. Clip rolling. Tiffany, quick, clipped. Sign where I showed you. The pressure point is here. Loop her ye like the bank form. It has to match. Practice. Coaching. Intent. My chest goes tight. Mom says, small. This makes me nervous. Tiffany answers soft hard. It's paperwork, not a wedding. Everyone does this. Nate adds, don't overthink. The dog tags clink. The clock ticks. The kettle screams, then clicks off. I breathe out slow. If I walk back now, they shut down. If I wait, I get a clean minute. The app shows the live transcript crawling. Forge, file, match, notary. Every word lands in my offsite with a hash. I don't need a judge today. I need proof tomorrow. I step back in with a smile like nothing's weird. Driver updated, I say, tapping the printer. We're good. Tiffany slides papers back like a magician hiding a card. Nate cracks a joke about my hacker lab. I grin, play along. Survival tension hums in my bones. Blow cover, lose the trail. Mom looks at me, eyes glossy. Should we wait? She asks. The room freezes for a breath. I want to say yes so bad my teeth hurt. But I'm not the decider. I'm the firewall. Guardrails, not a cage. Up to you, I say gentle. It's your house. Then I add one last nudge. If we're doing a notary, bring your IDs, the good ones. I stress it just enough. Tiffany clocks it. Her jaw ticks. She pastes on that calm smile again. Of course, she says. We're doing everything right. And that's the tell. People doing everything right don't need to say it. I pour tea. The kettle's still warm. The confession tape. The clock keeps time. Kitchen table capture. The house listens. Picture this. And for once, late afternoon sun on the laminate tea rings, the old clock doing that nervous tick. I set 2 mugs down, make noise, then drift to the hallway like I'm checking a cable. The mic is live. The wake words already hit. Now I need a clean minute of who they are when they think no one's grading them. Nate drops his voice. We forge first, file first. County's a rubber stamp if it looks clean. He says it like a tip, not a crime. You know that tone. The one he used to cheat curfew and call it efficiency. Tiffany slides pages, crisp whisper. Sign where I showed you. Pressure here. Loop the Y like the bank form. Slow on the cross. She taps the paper twice. My phone buzzes half beat. Keyword hit. Offsite box is already stamping the audio. Hash fires to my cold wallet note. I don't even blink. I breathe. Mom says, it feels wrong. She's not crying yet, just thinner. I can hear her thumb press the pin clip. Little click. My chest tightens because it sounds like surrender. Tiffany's voice goes therapist, calm. It's just housekeeping. Everybody does this. The notary sees this every day, then lower. We can't miss the window. Nate chuckles. The only people who lose money are the slow ones. Dog collar clinks as he scratches behind the ear, like he's earned the right to be smug in a kitchen he didn't buy. I look at the wall, not the room, and force myself to count. 1, 2, 3. Give me specifics. Ambient markers matter. The kettle hums as it cools. The clock ticks taller in the mix. There's a porch creak from the mail slot. Chain of custody doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs reality. Tiffany rehearses. Here's your name. Here's the notarization line. I'll guide your hand if you need me. She presses her finger to the paper so I can hear nail on fiber. You see this? This is where it says transfer, not sale. You keep living here. Nothing changes. Lie wrapped in a blanket. Nate, and we file first. That's key. We file before anyone asks questions. He laughs under his breath. By the time they do, it's done. I mark the time on my screen, 15 seconds since the last keyword. I catch the DHCP lease renewal on TIFF Air pop up. Good. Device ID is still inside the house. I snap a screenshot. It's small, boring. It's gold. Mom says, shouldn't we call Miss Pruitt? Her lawyer. Steady woman with gray hair and a stare that melts nonsense. It lands like a flare. Tiffany's smile is audible. You can hear someone smile if you listen long enough. She's traditional, she says, and cheaper. Nate, we don't need a committee. Then softer, loaded. Mom, do you trust me? That line has crushed me my whole life. It's the coin he spins because it always bought something. Silence. 5 ticks. I hate everyone. I step back in like I forgot my mug. Anyone want honey? Normal voice. Normal steps. I put the spoon down loud to make room for the edit later. I don't look at the paper. I look at the dog. Tiffany seals her tone. We're ready for the notary. She's telling Nate, not asking Mom. He says, "Cool, I'll text." Keyboard taps, his pecking cadence. The mic is still catching. I tag it in my head. 2 sets of fingers, 2 styles. That matters. My laptop chimes from my bag. Quiet, but there. The transcript flashes a line. Forge first, file first. The hash string posts. I take a breath that tastes like relief and guilt and old coffee. I sit. I stare at the table edge and picture a jury of ants who already think I'm the problem. So I decide, right there, to overdo the chain. I say out loud to no one, "Clock's off by 3 minutes, I'll fix it later." It sounds dumb. It's a breadcrumb. If anyone asks why the timestamp drifts, I've got it on tape that I noticed. Mom asks me, "Quiet, you think this is okay?" I squeeze her hand. It's warm and shaking. I want to say no. I want to flip the table. Instead, I say, "I think we should be careful." Then I stand. I'm going to grab the mail. I point at the porch. So I don't forget. I leave them with their plan and the mic with its work. The door opens. Hinge squeaks, cool air. Outside, I pretend to scan flyers. Inside, Tiffany whispers, "We signed the receipt page. We don't need the rest." Nate says, "Don't overfill. We want it tidy." The pen scratches. Not the deed. Practice. It squeaks different when it's real. I file that sound too. Back in, I set the mail down. Slide a flyer toward Mom. 2 for 1 pie at Dino's, I say. Stupid line. It lands like a lifeline. She smiles with only her eyes. Then Tiffany packs the stack. "We're good," she says. "Notary at 5. I check the kitchen cam reflection in the window. It's still aimed high, catching only faces when people stand. That was on purpose. We agreed on that line. Audio for context, not faces unless they wave. Consent, remember? Seatbelt, we planned months ago. I stay inside it. My phone vibrates again. The live transcript pings Notary, file, first thing. I hit a soft marker, intent, on my dashboard. It logs the segment, stamps the IP lease, the device IDs, the local timestamp, the offsite hash. Then it pushes a tiny note to my cold wallet. Clip signature. It's belt on belt on belt. Mom looks at the door like it might say no for her. It won't. Doors never do that. People do. So I do the only thing I can without tearing the room in half. I pour tea. I make small talk. I ask Nate if his client paid him yet. He says next week and laughs like rent never mattered. Inside me, something shifts. This isn't tech anymore. It's triage. I can't stop their hands today, but I can stop their win tomorrow. So I stand, kiss Mom's hair, and say, "Text me if you need a ride later." She nods, tiny. The clock ticks. The kettle clicks as it cools. The house breathes, and in that breath, the confession sits, sealed, waiting. And yeah, it's clear. It's their voices. You don't need me to tell you what it means. You can hear it. The Notary Gambit, Honeytoken sting. So the clock says 4:07, and my Honeytoken says Tiffany just opened lawyer contact readme.txt again. The callback hits my little server, and boom, GPS drops a pin on Jefferson, Suite B. Same strip mall I flagged earlier. Payday notary mill. Fluorescent lights, fake ferns, a printer that smells like hot dust. The pixel gives me more than a dot too. Phone OS, browser build, even the battery at 23%. Same fingerprint as Tiff Air from the guest Wi-Fi. It's her. I don't text. I don't warn. I book a decoy notary slot under an alias, Evan Hale, for 4:30 online. They confirm with a form that looks like it was coded by a nephew. I smile, grab my bike, and coast over like I'm late for a burrito. Outside, the air tastes like fryer oil from the taco place. Inside the mini mall, you can hear that buzz of cheap lights and a woman behind glass calling numbers like a deli. I don't film faces. I don't need to. I pull public camera feeds from the city's storefront API. There's a lens pointed at the walkway and the lot. Lawful, open, boring. My phone shows a wide shot of Suite B's door. That's enough. I walk in and say, "Hey, I'm Evan. Got a 4:30? The guy at the desk blinks like he woke up in this chair. "IDs?" he says. Fast talk voice. I ask to hear their policies. He shrugs, then rattles off a script. 2 IDs if expired, if not, 1 is fine. We can use alternate proof. No problem. Alternate proof. Yikes. I let him keep going. If signature doesn't match, we just need an affidavit. He holds up a form that's been photocopied to death. It's basically a permission slip for fraud. I say, cool. What if someone has a temporary ID? He doesn't blink. Happens all the time. He taps the glass like that makes it legal. I feel my jaw clench. This place is a rubber stamp with a credit card reader. My phone buzzes. Honeytoken pings again. Tiffany opens the file in the lot. GPS bounces in the same square. The public cam feed shows a sedan pull up. Windows dark. A woman in a neat blazer steps out with a binder. She keeps her head down. No faces, just body language. You don't need more. Context is the trick. The clerk asks, so, what are we notarizing? I say, General Docs. And he nods at a poster that says, we do deeds with a starburst. I keep my voice friendly. Do you check with the county for deed forms? He laughs. We stamp what you bring. Right. You ever turn anyone away? He shrugs. Not my job. I pay for nothing. I say I forgot my wallet. He waves me off like a fly. So I step outside and lean on the soda machine like a clueless dude waiting on a ride. My phone streams the walkway cam. 2 figures move past frame with a leather binder. You can hear the squeak of the Suite B door just off mic on my kitchen clip. That's not luck. That's timing. 30 seconds later, my tracker phone, same Honeytoken callback route, logs a second open of the lawyer contact file. The header includes the mobile OS version and the cell tower ID. I don't need tower triangulation. I've got the door squeak, the walkway cam timestamp, and the GPS ping from the same device minutes apart. It's a stack. I grab the chance to build a cleaner chain. I call the notary desk from the hallway and ask about IDs. I put it on speaker and record policy talk. The clerk says, 2 if expired, cousin IDs okay if government. Cousin IDs. He literally says that. I repeat it like I'm slow. Cousin IDs are okay. He says, if it's official. My stomach flips. I hang up, walk out, and take a long breath that tastes like soap and stress. Back home, I pull the public cam API clips around the time window and store them. I snapshot the map with the GPS pin. I save the Honeytoken headers, user agent, IP, OS, battery, language, into my evidence folder. Each file gets hashed and dropped to my cold wallet node. It's boring, and it's how you make boring lethal. Then, I plant one more lure. I drop a PDF on the shared desktop called Recorder County Checklist, PDF. It's a fake checklist with a tracking pixel in the header and a unique ID tied to that file only. If they open it, I'll know whether they're prepping steps for filing. It doesn't say trap, it says help. People click help. 5:10, Mom texts me a heart. No words. She hates typing long things. I stare at it like it's a flare gun misfiring. I send back, all good? No reply. The transcript from the kitchen is quiet now. No more hits. They left. At 5:40, my county recorder tripwire goes off. It's a dumb script that checks the public index for my parents' parcel every 15 minutes. A new pending document tag flashes. It doesn't show pages, just a placeholder. But my hash mismatch tool pings red. The metadata they submitted to the county site doesn't line up with my original deed hash posted months ago. It's not proof on its own, it's a flag. And every flag I've logged today points the same way. So I sit there with a folder full of small facts. A clerk who shrugs at cousin IDs, GPS pins from a strip mall, a binder silhouette, a cracked editor trail, a PDF born on Tiffany MacBook Pro, and a kitchen minute where 2 people coached my mother how to fake her own name. It's ugly. It's also clean. I don't kick down doors. I don't scream on the porch. I set an alarm for the morning because the next move isn't a speech. It's paper versus math at the county counter. And if I do this right, the house keeps breathing, and they run out of air. County clerk showdown. Paper versus hash. Morning. Fluorescence, waxed floors, that county office smell. Paper and coffee that died yesterday. I walk in with my parents. Dad wears his church jacket. Mom holds her purse like a seatbelt. I've got a manila folder and a face that says, I do this every day, even though my pulse is drumming. We take a number. The board beeps. I guide them to the counter when it flashes green. The clerk's got a neat bun and a nameplate that says Lenora. Calm eyes. Good sign. Hi, I say. Easy. We need to verify a recording on parcel. I slide the parcel number. There's a pending deed. I set down certified copies of the original deed, then my printouts, the scanned hashes, the cold wallet note with timestamp, the chain of custody sheet I typed at 2 a.m. It's boring. It's armor. Lenora glances up. You an attorney? I smile. Just the admin's son. She half smiles back. She's seen worse. She pulls up the index. Yes, we have a submission pending. She tilts the screen. Updated deed, 3 pages notarized. 3. I clock it. My printer log said 5 printed, 2 missing. I keep my face plain. Can we view the metadata? I ask. Producer string author, created date? She pauses. I add, I know it's not standard, but we've got a potential elder issue. We brought the originals. I tap the certified deed copies. In a notarized estate letter, I slide the letter. Mom and Dad affirming ownership. No intent to transfer dated last month by their regular lawyer. Miss Pruitt. Gray hair, steel eyes. Bless her. Lenora breathes, then nods. Give me a minute. She steps into a back room. My mom squeezes my sleeve. Is this okay? She whispers. We're just asking questions, I say. Questions are free. A door clicks. Different shoes. A man in a compliance badge steps out, late 40s, calm face. I'm Alvarez, he says. What's the concern? I give him the short version. Metadata flags, printer logs, possible forgery. Parents consented to security recording in their home. We came as soon as the index blipped. He doesn't roll his eyes. He nods. Show me. I open the folder. I line up the pieces like Lego. The hash of the original deed scan posted months ago in my cold wallet. The mismatch report from the pending file. The printer job log with deed_final b2.pdf at 2:03 a.m. The per-page steganographic watermark key. The chain of IP, leases, and device IDs. And yeah, I set the blockchain note printout on top. He raises a brow at that one. I shrug. Time-stamped receipts are cheap. Lenora returns with a tablet and a neutral face. We pulled the pending PDF's properties, she says. She turns it. Producer, specific editor. The cracked build ID is there if you know what you're seeing. Author field says Tiffany MacBook Pro. Created time, 1:41 a.m. Eastern. We're Pacific. I look at Alvarez. He catches it. That's unusual, he says. I say nothing. I just slide the printer watermark decoder I printed, .pattern guide. If you let me overlay a macro photo of page 2 from the pending, I can match the per page ID to this house printer at 2:03 a.m., unknown Mac. He tilts his head. You have a copy? I nod. We don't copy filings, he says. Then adds, but we can examine what's been presented if the presenter agrees. He looks at Lenora. She nods. The presenters are here, she says, eyes flicking behind me. I don't turn fast. I exhale. Nate's voice lands first. Hey guys, he says, like this is brunch. Tiffany's behind him with the binder, mouth, and that polite line. Perfect, Alvarez says. You can help us clear this. He gestures to the side counter. Everyone over here. Tiffany slides the pending packet forward. Updated deed, she says smooth. Retitling for estate planning. Alvarez holds up a hand. We just want to verify authorship and integrity. He opens his palm. Who prepared this? Our contact, Tiffany says. I consolidated. Alvarez taps the tablet. It lists an author, Tiffany MacBook Pro. Is that your device? She doesn't blink. I formatted it, she says. The attorney drafted it. Name of attorney? He asks. Remote counsel, she says. Out of state. Alvarez doesn't write it down. He just nods once, like he's counting to 10 in his head. He turns to me. You mentioned watermarks. I nod. Microscopic, printer-embedded, per-page ID, tied to timestamp and MAC. If we compare, we can place where it came from. I hold up the decoder sheet. It's not content. It's dots. He looks at Tiffany. Do you consent to a non-destructive examination of page 2 for provenance? She smiles thin. We're on a timeline, she says. We'd like to file now, Alvarez smiles back with no teeth. That's exactly why we check. Nate rolls his shoulders. This is ridiculous, he says. We're family. Alvarez doesn't blink. That's why we check. Lenora brings a magnifier. She and Alvarez slip on gloves. They angle page 2 under the light, slow, like it might bite. Alvarez leans close. Do you have a reference? I hand the dot key. He lines grid to margin, mutters numbers. 934. Timestamp pattern suggests 2:03 a.m. He glances up. Does that match your log? I slide the print. Yes. Unknown MAC at 2:03. He exhales through his nose. Okay. He looks at Tiffany. Do you have a notarization log? She says, we used a storefront. He asks, name? She gives it. My stomach does a small, mean smile. Alvarez nods. We'll request their book. Tiffany tries to pivot. We followed the law, she says. This is housekeeping. Alvarez tilts the tablet. The author tag is your laptop. The time zone is Eastern. The producer is an editor with a distinctive signature. And this page bears a watermark tied to a different printer than your device. None of that proves fraud alone, but together, it's enough to pause. Nate snaps. You can't. Alvarez raises a finger. We can, and we will. We're holding the recording pending review. Lenora stamps a pink slip. Administrative hold. Dad lets out a breath he's been holding for a week. Mom squeezes my hand so hard, it hurts. I let it. Alvarez turns to me. You mentioned additional evidence. I nod. Device logs, consent forms, and a demand letter ready for counsel. He nods once. Our compliance office will document and, if needed, refer. Tiffany's jaw tightens. This is a family misunderstanding, she says. Alvarez's face stays kind. Then we'll clear it with facts. He looks at me, then at Lenora. Get me the notary's commission record and the filing IP. He lowers his voice. And print me that blockchain note. The house isn't here, but it might as well be. The dots, the hashes, the boring little facts. This is where they sing. I don't gloat. I just stand still. And for the first time in days, the room feels level. Legal hammer, elder abuse, and wire fraud paths. So after the clerk hold, I don't go home and post a victory lap. I take my parents to a quiet bench outside, give them water, and call an attorney who actually knows elder cases. Not a cousin, a real one. I send a tight packet. The kitchen clip hash, the printer logs, the author tag shots, the Honeytoken pings, and the county pause slip. 10 minutes later, we're on a video call. The lawyer looks like someone who reads footnotes for fun. She says, okay, this is strong. Let's walk the lanes. Plain voice, zero drama. First, elder financial abuse. A lot of states hammer this. In some, you're looking at enhanced penalties and treble damages. She taps her pen. If this were California, for example, a civil action could multiply the loss. 2 million becomes 6. That leverage matters. Mom swallows. Dad stares at a tree like it might give advice. Second lane, she says. Wire fraud exposure. Any scheme to deprive by false pretenses that uses interstate wires, email, cloud tools, e-filing, can light up federal interest. You've got a cracked editor, online merge, a county e-submission. That's a straight shot. She pauses. We don't throw those words around to scare. We use them to make people listen. I ask the scary question. Is the audio usable? She tilts her head. You have signed informed consent from the homeowners for security recordings, clear house policy, and a guest notice on the network. That helps a lot. Also, courts carve room when recordings capture ongoing abuse. You weren't bugging strangers. You were preserving your parents' safety. She holds my eyes. We'll still be careful how we use it. Here's the plan, she says. We draft a demand letter. We lay out exact facts, attempted retitling, metadata timeline, intent statements, the notary mill policy call, county hold. We offer a narrow settlement, immediate cessation, return of any copies, written apology, and concrete steps to protect your parents. We fold in education and therapy because pattern change matters. And we warn, clearly but professionally, that if they don't comply, we'll file civil claims and refer to the DA, and if justified, the feds. She clicks her pen. You have treble damages as real risk. You have potential wire fraud referral. They will feel that. I nod, but I'm not smiling. My hands are cold. This is my brother. This is Sunday dinners and hand-me-down bikes, and the way he could dunk a ball at 16. And this is what he did. We meet at her office. Fluorescent hum, legal pads, the whole vibe. She reads my draft like it's a bomb manual and cleans the edges. No adjectives, just receipts. We include exhibits. The consent forms my parents signed for the smart home, the Wi-Fi splash screenshot, the kitchen clip transcript with timestamps and ambient markers, the printer job log with 2:03 a.m., the author field snapshots, the watermark decoder key, the Honeytoken headers, the county hold slip, each exhibit labeled, each page numbered. It's not a story, it's a map. She adds the teeth. Elder financial abuse, civil remedies and enhanced damages applicable. Demand for cessation, no contact pending counsel, and contribution to elder care fund as restitution. Then the trigger line. Absent compliance within 7 days, we will file and refer this matter for criminal review, including potential wire fraud predicated on interstate electronic communications. She looks up. You okay signing? I hear myself say, yes. We send it certified. We also email it because I want the wire timestamp. Then I drive to my parents' house because a letter won't hold their hands. Nate gets it first. My phone buzzes with his name. I don't pick up. He calls again, then sends a wall of texts. You've lost it. You're done here. You think the DA cares? A minute later, Mom calls. I answer that. She's crying, not angry, just tired. It's my fault, she says. I should have said no. I tell her, no, this is on them. Over and over like a metronome. I bring dinner and sit on the floor with the dog while the house breathes. Dad breaks first. I thought we raised you both the same, he says, not looking at me. I say, you did. He nods like that hurts worse. That night, the attorney pings me. Clerk forwarded filing IP matches guest VLAN session. She doesn't add a smiley. She doesn't need to. The chain is tight. Then the survival counter hits. Nate shows up at the door, jaw set. Open it, Dad says. So I do. Nate steps in, points at my chest. You cut me off, he says. You did that. He looks at Mom, then back at me. You're not family. Mom breaks like glass. I hold the door frame so I don't say something that makes this permanent. I keep my voice flat. You have a letter. Read it with a lawyer. He laughs hard. Your lawyer? Please. He leans in. Drop it. I shake my head. No. He stares at me for 3 beats. Then he says the quiet part. You can't prove anything without me. I blink. Buddy, I say, soft. We already did. The next morning, I get a call from a detective in the DA's office. Not a raid, not a show. Just, we received a referral from the county. We'd like to understand the scope. I breathe slow, happy to cooperate. My parents consented to recordings. I have an evidence index. He says, bring it. No heat, just process. I hang up, make tea, and watch the steam curl. I didn't want cops in this. I wanted a kitchen apology and a reset. But you don't always get the version of justice that fits your dinner table. So I print 2 binders, one clean for the DA, one for my parents. I mark the tabs big so Dad doesn't have to
Family
squint.
dinner, the
And I write
reveal,
one line
and
on
the
the
switch.
inside cover.
So I text the
We
group
love
chat,
you.
dinner,
We got
and
you.
add a pizza emoji because that's our neutral flag.
Mom says yes. Dad says yes. Nate replies with a thumbs up. Tiffany sends great with a sparkle like I invited a wedding planner. I bring salad to make it look normal and set my laptop on the hutch like it's just another coaster. We eat. It's quiet chew, quiet. Mom tries small talk about the farmer's market. Dad tells a story about a neighbor's fence. Nate throws in a brag about a client who closed. Tiffany nods at the right beats. I wait until plates are messy and no one can call this an ambush. Then I stand, wipe my hands and say, I need 20 seconds. Nate laughs. We doing a TED Talk? I smile. Shorter. I tap the trackpad. The kitchen mic clip rolls. No preface, no voiceover, just their voices in their kitchen. Nate, clear. We forge first, file first. County's a rubber stamp if it looks clean. Tiffany, crisp. Loop the Y like the bank form. Slow on the cross. The kettle hums. The clock ticks. The dog tags clink. It lands like a plate cracking. Mom's hand flies to her mouth. Dad says, "What is this?" Like he wants the room to say it was edited. I say, "It's a recording from the day you asked about the notary. You both signed the house policy. Security recordings, admin logs. We posted the Wi-Fi consent." I look at Mom. "You remember? The safe word?" She nods, tears already there. Nate goes red. "You bugged us?" Tiffany comes in hot. "This is illegal." I shake my head. They consented. It's their home. The policy was clear. Guests are notified on join. Also, this isn't a gotcha. This is elder protection. I flip to the next tab, printer log. Here's your 2:03 a.m. job. Deed, final, version, P2, PDF from an unknown Mac. 5 pages printed, 3 filed, 2 vanished. I slide the paper log across the table like a bill. Tiffany points at the laptop. "Metadata can be faked." I nod. "Sure, but this producer string is from a cracked editor. The author tag says Tiffany MacBook Pro. The time zone's Eastern, and each printed page carries a microscopic watermark tied to that exact minute and device. If I take a macro shot of page 2 of the pending deed, I can match the dots to this printer, this house, that time. I let it sit. That's not a vibe. That's physics." Mom whispers, "Nate?" Nate doesn't meet her eyes. He stares at me. "You set us up." I shrug. "I set up guardrails. You drove into them." He barks a laugh. "So what? You want me arrested?" I don't answer. "Not yet." Tiffany tries a pivot. "We were helping them avoid probate." I nod again. "Cool. Then why coach signatures? Why forge first, file first?" She opens and closes her mouth like a fish and settles on, "We misspoke." I play the last 10 seconds of the clip. Her saying, "We don't need the rest." Nate saying, "We want it tidy." It's tidy, all right. In a way that smells like bleach. Dad looks so tired. "I don't understand why," he says, soft. Nate says, "It's for the family." I say, "Whose family, man?" That cracks him. He slaps the table. "You always do this. Make me the villain because you can't hold a job." I smile without teeth. "I can hold a log." Tiffany straightens. "Even if you have this, no one will use it. It's a private home." I shrug. Clerk already put the filing on hold. Compliance has the author tag. The DA called to understand the scope. And if we go civil, treble damages are on the table. 2 becomes 6. Also, wire fraud isn't a cute phrase. You use the internet to move a false document across state lines. I keep my voice flat. I'm not bluffing. I'm tired. Mom cries. It's the sound that wrecked me when I was 10 and still does. I put a box of tissues by her elbow. "I don't want this," she says. "I wanted help." I nod. "So here's the help." I slide a single sheet across to Nate and Tiffany. Terms, plain font, no drama. Return keys. No power of attorney for either of you now or later. Written apology to my parents acknowledging harm. Fund 50 grand into a care account you don't control. Therapy and a basic legal education course. Proof required. I tap the last line. NDA that protects them, not me. My story is mine. If you breach, I drop a DA packet with the full index. If you mess with the tech, it won't matter. Backups are immutable. Nate stares at me like he doesn't know who I am. Tiffany recovers first. "You're extorting us." I shake my head. "I'm offering you a clean exit. No charges if you honor it. Boundaries, restitution, and we walk away." I look at Mom. "They never get to do this to you again." Silence. Clock ticks get loud. The dog sighs like he's over us. Nate leans back, crosses his arms. "No." Tiffany nods tight. "Absolutely not." She angles her chin at my laptop. "You'll lose that recording." I cut in, calm. "You want to test it? Cool. But understand, this isn't just audio. It's author tags, printer watermarks, IP leases, a county pause, a notary mills call where your guy said cousin IDs, and a demand letter ready to go with all of it numbered. I'm not the broke app guy tonight. I'm the admin." Mom whispers, "Please." It lands like a plea and a verdict. Nate's jaw works. What if we apologize and the money comes later? I shake my head. Sign now. Wire in 7 days. Or we go the other way. Tiffany looks at the ceiling, at the wall, at the floor. Anywhere but at my parents. She reaches for the paper. Nate grabs her wrist. Don't. He turns back to me. You think you can scare me? I shrug. I think consequences are loud. I click to one last screen. The county compliance email with the hold. His eyes flick there despite himself. He cracks. Not all at once. Just a shoulder drop. 50? He says, like haggling over a car. 50, I say. And you don't come back with plans. He looks at Mom, then at Dad, then at Tiffany. Sign it, he mutters. Tiffany burns me with a look like she could set hair on fire. Then she signs. Nate signs after a beat, slower. My attorney's envelope is already stamped. I slide them copies. I don't smile. Okay, I say. Now we eat pie. Mom laughs through tears like a bad radio. Dad nods. The dog thumps his tail. The house clicks as the AC kicks on. Trust me, it's not a win. It's a switch. And the room feels different. The terms, clean exit or court. So here's how I lay it out. Calm voice, palms open. This isn't revenge. It's a boundary. 2 paths. Clean exit or court. Your choice. I slide the term sheet back to them. First, keys. House, mailbox, lockbox, anything that opens a thing on this property. You return it tonight. No spares, no copies. Second, no power of attorney. Not now, not next year, not when someone's in a hospital bed. You two are out of that lane forever. I tap the next line. Third, a written apology to my parents. Not as sorry if you felt note, a real one. You name what you did and why it's wrong. Nate stares at the ceiling like the words are up there. Tiffany flips the page with 2 fingers like she's critiquing the font. I keep going. Fourth, restitution. 50 grand into a care account they control with a neutral cosigner. Not you, not me, their lawyer. It covers therapy, rides, home stuff, a ramp if we need one later. It's not a fine. It's you paying back the stress bill you racked up. Tiffany shoots me a glare. We didn't take money. I nod. You tried to move $2 million with a pen. The price for almost is still a bill. She smirks. You can't set prices. I shrug. You can also choose court. Those prices are louder. Fifth, I say, gentle but firm, education and therapy. 4 sessions with a real therapist, not a friend. And a basic legal education course on elder protection and property fraud. You bring completion proof to Miss Pruitt. She checks the box, not me. Nate scoffs. Homework? I nod. Yeah, grown-up homework. 6th, I add, NDA that protects them. You don't talk about their medical stuff, their finances, their routines, nothing. You don't get to drag their names to make yourself look better. That gag is one way. Me? My story is mine. I won't share account numbers or private health details, but I get to tell what happened to me. Tiffany's mouth tightens. So you get content and we get a muzzle? I shrug. You get boundaries. They get safety. And last, I say, tapping the line that matters, if you breach, I drop the DA packet. All of it. Audio, logs, metadata, clerk hold, notary policy call, author tags, watermark decoder. No more talks, just filings. I look at Nate. No more texts telling me I'm not family, just a case number. Nate laughs, small and mean. You think this makes you a man? I breathe out. No, it makes me your parents' firewall. Big difference. Tiffany starts, we need time to review. I shake my head. 7 days for the wire. You can read tonight. She reaches for the paper again, eyes scanning like a scanner. What if the account is in our name and I cut in. No, neutral attorney trust. You sign, wire, and walk away. If you're broke, say it now. We'll adjust the timeline, not the terms. She doesn't blink. Nate doesn't either. Pride's a brick wall on both faces. Dad clears his throat. Son, this is too much. He means me. He's asking if I'm breaking the table. I turn to him. It's the least we can ask to make sure this doesn't happen again. Mom wipes her eyes. I want quiet, she says, tiny. I want my kitchen to be my kitchen. I nod. Then this is the map. Tiffany tries a last swing. Your recording won't hold, she says. Two-party consent. I keep my voice even. They consented in writing to security and maintenance recording. Guest notice posted. And when abuse is in play, judges make room. But even if a court tossed the audio, we still have the author tag, the cracked editor trail, the page watermark, the filing IP, and the county hold. You could throw my mic in a river, and the math would still be here. Nate's eyes go flinty. We sign nothing without counsel. I nod. Cool. Call counsel. Bring them the facts. Tell them about the notary mill where cousin IDs are okay. I let that hang. His jaw twitches. He stands. I'm not wiring 50. I tilt my head. Then pick the other path. He looks at Mom. She doesn't look away. That hits him harder than me. Tiffany pulls out her phone. We'll get our own lawyer, she says. I smile, but it's sad. Please do. Then I add soft. Make sure they're licensed. The last legal friend you called is suspended. Her eyes flash. She wasn't ready for that receipt. Nate paces once, twice. 30, he tries. I shake my head. 50. He looks at the door. He looks at the dog. He looks at Dad, who still won't meet his eyes. Something in him sags. Fine, he mutters. We'll do it. Tiffany hisses, Nate, but he's already reaching for a pen. We sign contingent on legal review, she says. I nod. Fine. But the clock starts now. I slide over 2 copies. They sign, tiny signatures like they're trying to hide. I countersign receipt only. No victory lap. Just a date. Keys, I say. Tiffany digs in her bag, pulls a ring, holds it like it's a tooth. Nate drops 2 keys in my palm. Cold metal. Heavy in a way thoughts aren't. 7 days, I say. Wire-proofed in Miss Pruitt. Send the apology to my parents. Book your sessions. Don't text me threats. Don't show up. If you need to talk, use your lawyer. Nate nods once. Tiffany packs slow, rage neat and zipped. They walk to the door. He stops, half turns. You happy? He asks. I look at Mom, at Dad, at the clock. No, I say. But I'm done being quiet. The door clicks shut. The house exhales. Mom cries in short bursts. Dad sits hard. I put the signed terms on the hutch next to the laptop and the salad bowl and the dog's rubber bone. All the normal things. All the new ones. I grab the trash, tie it, carry it out, breathe night air that tastes like cut grass. My phone buzzes. It's my attorney. Good, hold the line. I text back a single word, holding. Then I stand there in the porch light, keys biting my palm, and let the quiet tell me we might finally be safe. Final battle, the IT backfire. So here's how the last swing goes down. Nate storms back 2 nights later, wired and twitchy like he drank a can of rage. Tiffany's behind him with that tight smile and a phone glued to her hand. Mom's in her chair. Dad's by the sink. I'm at the table with my laptop closed, hands flat, trying to look boring. Nate says, we're done being bullied, and heads straight for the office nook. He yanks the USB drive from the printer like it insulted him and slams it in his pocket. Evidence, he says, grinning like a kid who stole a cookie. I just blink. Because yeah, that stick, it's a decoy cache. Real logs write direct to worm storage offsite. Write once, read many, immutable. He can juggle that thumb drive all night. The fax won't even notice. He pops the printer menu, mashes reset. I say calm, careful. That's just going to clear the queue. He stabs the button anyway. The panel chirps. Tiffany smirks. Oops, she says. I nod. Cool. My mirror relay up in the attic hums to itself, feeding the same logs to a second box. You don't bet the house on one road. They move to cameras. Nate stands on a chair, rips the dining bulb cam like he's winning a prize. Glass hits the table and skitters. Mom gasps. He holds up the busted thing. No more spying. I say, there's a warranty. He throws it in the trash like that hurt me. I tap my phone once. The attic relay shows a clean live feed of his back, his shoes, his temper. Red LED blinking steady. I don't show him. I just watch. Then Tiffany lifts her phone. Emergency, she says. Your mother asked us to finish paperwork. She's scared of you. She waves the screen at me. A text bubble sits there, green and trembling. Please help me get this done. Don't tell him. Mom squints. I didn't write that. Tiffany shrugs. Must have forgotten. I reach out my hand. Let me see the header. She laughs. You don't get to... I cut in soft. Stir, shaken. She blinks. What? I hold up my phone. Carrier call and text authentication. If the signature's off, it flags spoofed origin. Also, SMS headers show the route. If this text bounced through an online gateway, we'll see it. Dad looks lost, so I add, it's like postmarks, but nerdy. Nate says, it's from her phone. I shake my head. Nope. I open my Carrier app, pull message details linked to Mom's number. There's no outbound at that time. I scroll. My screen shows a different path. An API send from a web app, not her SIM. You faked the text, I say, quiet. Tiffany's jaw flexes. Everyone uses services. I nod. Everyone who needs a receipt does. People who need a lie use them wrong. She pivots to her legal friend. I spoke to counsel, she says. He says this is inadmissible. I don't move. What's his bar number? She fires it off like a dare. I tap the state bar lookup. The page loads slow on purpose like it knows it's about to be rude. Status, suspended. Reason, administrative noncompliance. I slide the phone toward her. Pick a new friend. Nate breathes hard through his nose and grabs my laptop. He yanks the power and says, let's make this simple, then does a long press like he's defusing a bomb. He pops the back cover like he watched a YouTube at 3 a.m. and finds my backup drive clipped inside. He rips it free and pockets it like it's a heart. Done, he says. I close my eyes. Buddy? No. He grins. Now what? I say. Now the immutable copy laughs. He frowns. The what? I point to the router rack. Write once, read many. Cloud Vault with version locks. Delete a thing here and it just doesn't care. He glares. You're lying. I shrug. Prove it. Tiffany dials fast. We're filing the deed ourselves, she says into the phone. We'll go now. I lean back. County placed an administrative hold. Any attempt routes to compliance. Also, the filing IP, they already captured maps to our guest VLAN. Same fingerprint as your TIFF Air session. Same time zone mismatch. She swallows. Nate, last bullet. He opens his email and starts typing like a woodpecker. Fires off a message labeled Notice of Revocation to my parents. CC's a fake lawyer domain. He turns and grins. Served. My phone pings the send. I open the headers. The domain's fresh, registered yesterday through a cheap mask that still leaked the billing zip. His zip. I raise a brow. You filed a notice to people who still own the house with a lawyer who doesn't exist. He says, it looks official. I stand. My voice stays low. Look, this is done. The more you swing, the more you bleed. He steps closer. Make me. I nod at the hallway. Mom, you good? She whispers, apricot. And that's the safe word. Game over. The mic flips everything to archive, arms the alert. I point at the door. You need to leave. He takes one more step. And this is the part I didn't plan. Dad steps between us. That's enough, he says. Not loud. Final. Nate freezes. Tiffany tugs his sleeve. Let's go, she says. But she says it to the floor. They hit the porch. I follow. The night feels tight. Nate turns. Press charges then, he spits. Be that guy. I shake my head. I don't have to push, the clerk referred. The DA called. You started a machine. He laughs like a dare. You won't. I look at my parents through the window. They look small. I'll cooperate, I say, and I'll hold the line. He tries one last time. You're not family. I don't flinch. I'm the firewall. Tiffany finally breaks and mutters, we picked the wrong nerd. They leave. Inside, I flip the relay for a quick health check. Green across the board. Cam smashed. Mirror alive. Drive yanked. Vault intact. Text faked. Headers nailed it. Legal friend? Suspended. Every shot they took jammed. Dad sits. Mom exhales like a balloon letting go slow. The house clicks, the door locks catch, and the quiet doesn't feel scared anymore. It just feels like quiet. Resolution. Boundaries, care, and consequence. Next morning, we do the boring work that keeps a house safe. Mom sits at the table with tea. Dad holds a pen like it's heavier than it should be. I call Miss Pruitt. She answers with that calm. It sounds like a seatbelt clicking. We're moving access, I say, today. She says, good. So we revoke everything. Bank portals, utilities, pharmacy accounts, the smart home admin that used to have a guest view, gone. New passwords, new passphrases, no sharing by text. I print a one-page who can touch what list in big font. Only Miss Pruitt and a neutral fiduciary get durable power of attorney. Not me, not Nate, not Tiffany. We pick a professional who bills by the hour and has no family tree here. It's clean. At noon, the county clerk's email pings. Filing hold extended, compliance reviewing notary log. There's a line about potential referral. I read it to Mom in small bites. She nods, slow. I want to cook, she says. So we find her recipe card for lemon chicken, and I stand at the stove while she tells me when to flip. It smells like high school and Sundays. It also smells like we might be okay. The doorbell rings. A courier hands Tiffany an envelope from the clerk's office. Notice of irregularity. I don't crow. I just put it on the hutch, next to the signed terms and the dog treats. Consequence can sit there and be quiet. That afternoon, a detective calls again. Plain tone. We'd like your evidence index. I say, happy to help, and I set a time. I'm careful. I don't push for cuffs. I don't tell stories. I prep a copy of everything with tabs, consent forms, Wi-Fi splash, printer logs, author tags, Honeytoken pings, county hold, no color commentary, no spice. Nate texts once, lawyer will crush you. I don't reply. He texts again, Mom begged me to finish this. I screenshot it and file it. Mom reads over my shoulder and shakes her head. Apricot, she says, soft. We both smile at the code. We meet a handyman and add small. Fixes that aren't about money. They're about ease. New deadbolts with codes only Mom, Dad, Miss Pruitt, and me have. Door sensors that chime, not blare. A grab bar in the hall because time moves one way. I roll the smart home back to simple mode. No fun toys, no trap talk. Just lights on, doors locked, alerts to me if something looks weird. Mom laughs at the old wicker basket I use for remotes. Grandma basket, she says. Perfect. In the quiet parts, we talk honest. I tell Mom, I'm sorry I made the house feel like a lab. She says she's sorry she didn't say no louder. Dad says sorry for standing late when he should have stood early. We hug in this awkward, real way that feels like pulling splinters. It hurts. Then it doesn't. At dinner, I bring up therapy. Not like a slam, like a map. I found a counselor who works with families after trust breaks, I say. Different rooms, same plan. Mom nods first. Dad takes a second, then nods too. I text Miss Pruitt to set it and put the dates on the fridge calendar next to oil change and Pi Day. We need silly and serious on the same whiteboard. That's balance. A day later, Miss Pruitt calls with a tiny smile in her voice. Funds landed. $50,000 in the care account, confirmation wired. No balloons, just a PDF and a number that helps. We set rules. It pays for rides, help, ramps, check-ins, not vacations. Tiffany sends an apology that reads like it cut her tongue. Nate's is shorter. They both land. Mom reads them, folds them, puts them in a drawer that now has an NFC tag under it that pings me when it opens. Guardrails with grace. The DA sends a formal letter, inquiry opened. It's not a Netflix show. No fast chase. Just a machine that may grind or may not, but it exists. I mark my role. Cooperative, not vindictive. I answer calls, hand over copies, keep my mouth shut in public. No Reddit, no victory threads. This is my parents' life, not my brand. We build new habits. I set gentle reminders that say, call Mom and swing by Dad and check meds. I bring soup without asking. I teach Dad the one-button FaceTime. Mom sends heart emojis at weird hours. I stop correcting her punctuation. We sit on the porch and listen to crickets that don't care about any of this. Love isn't blind here anymore. It's wearing glasses and checking receipts. That sounds harsh. It's not. It's care with rails. It's me choosing to be the firewall and not the cop. It's them choosing to let the house breathe safe. One morning, the kettle whistles. Sun hits the table, same stripe as before, but the air's different. Not tense, just ready. I pour tea, listen to the clock tick, and realize the quiet finally belongs to us again. Epilogue. The uneasy peace and the question. So picture this, a quiet morning that doesn't twitch. I'm at the table, tea steaming, the same stripe of sun we always get across the laminate. The door sensors give a soft chime when Dad steps out for the paper. No alarms, no drama. Just normal. And that feels brand new. I'm not the hero here. I'm the firewall. I don't fix hearts. I stop fires. That's my lane. It's not shiny, but it works. And yeah, I'm burned around the edges. You don't hold heat this long and walk out without marks. But I'm standing. Our family chat sits muted. Mom still drops the red heart emoji at odd times. 3 a.m., 11:02, during a rerun. It's her way of saying, I'm here, without typing the hard parts. I'll take it. Dad texts me pictures of the dog like it's a grandkid. I save everyone. The house is the same, which is the point. The deed hash is printed small and stupid on the fridge like an inside joke. Visitors think it's a Wi-Fi code. We smile and say, something like that. Ms. Pruitt rolls her eyes and pretends she isn't proud of us for labeling folders. I open source the boring bits, the audit scripts, the watermark key idea, the Honeytoken template, scrubbed and safe. I write clear docs, number 3 a.m. Hacker talk, just steps a cousin can follow. People email me about their parents, their aunties, a neighbor with a pushy nephew. I answer when I can. Guardrails, not cages. I write. Consent first. Receipts always. Nate? He moved out. We don't talk. The DA machine hums somewhere far away. I don't check it every day. Some nights I lie awake and replay the dinner, the clip, the look on Mom's face when love bent but didn't break. It still hurts. It probably should. And there's the file, the kitchen tape. It lives in a vault that doesn't forget. Every time I scroll past its hash, my stomach goes hot, then cold. That clip saved them. It also carved a line through us. I keep asking the same question. Do I hold it forever? Or do I let time do the erase I can't? Trust me, there isn't a clean answer. Delete it, and I might regret it the first time a new scam shows up. Keep it, and I'm the guy who keeps a ghost. So, I do what firewalls do. I watch. I wait. I let quiet be the test. If quiet holds, maybe one day I press archive. If not, the dots in math are still there. For now, the kettle whistles, the door locks click, and the house breathes. That's enough. The kettle clicks off, steam fades, and the locks thud once. Soft, final, like the house saying, I've got them now. I'm not sure if I won or just stopped the worst version, but the quiet? It finally belongs to them again. So, was I wrong to nuke the bridge to save the house? Tell me below. If this hit close to home, subscribe. I've got more wild family forensics and karma payoffs coming. Next up, the metadata revenge that